phone. I don't know, something's up with my computer. Oh, I wonder if I get filters if I'm on my phone. I guess not. Okay, I never go live from my phone. I go live in my own Facebook group all the time, but I want to start doing it more with you guys here in Bookkeeping Life. So say hello when you sign on. I have zero idea what is going on with my computer, but whenever I come in my office, it's like I have no internet. It's really weird. Anyhow, so I'm going to give this a few seconds. Make sure you say hi when you come on. I will see if maybe if I hit this button, can I see comments? Not sure. Anyhow, if you are catching this live, oh, there we are. We're up and running. Sorry. Technology, let me tell you, it is not my friend this week. If you are catching this on the replay, please give me a hashtag replay so I can come back in and say hello. I thought today I would talk about my bookkeeping life story. Hi, Ty. I have connected with so many of you in my DMs. I need to come on here more often. We need to hang out more. So I thought I would start today by telling you my bookkeeping life story and how this program has literally transformed my life. I'm not saying that woo-woo, I'm 100% it has transformed my life. I'm not saying that trying to sell you anything. I have nothing to sell you today. I'm just here to tell you my experience, what it has done for me, what my life looks now, and give you that little story because we have so many new people in this group and I haven't shared my story in a while. Alrighty. So make sure you say hi when you sign on. If you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at all my notes. Normally I do this from my computer, but right now my computer has no internet. So this is how we're going to go about it. So my name is Cheryl Belber. I own Saratoga Bookkeeping Services. No, I am not related to Steve. I had someone ask that in a YouTube comment and it made me laugh. And to be quite honest, I've never met him in person. He's just a phenomenal guy who has helped me so much and I love his program. So that's why I hang out here with you guys. That's why I never mind answering all your questions in my DMs. If I don't respond as fast as I should, I apologize, but I definitely get back to everybody. So I have a bookkeeping business, just like many of you do, and I got my start with Bookkeeping Life. I did not have a background in bookkeeping. I am an audit director. I have a background in audit and more operational and compliance audits, not a financial audit background. And while I have done some financial audits, I have a master's degree in accounting, but like I said, I did not start with a bookkeeping background. I never logged into QuickBooks before I started Steve's program. I never worked for an accounting firm. I don't work in the finance office. I have always been an auditor, right? So I come with the same level of experience as a lot of you do. None, right? That's where I started. I found Steve's program in the fall of 2018, and it was really just by a whim. It was a random advertisement in my Facebook feed, and if we rewind a little bit, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, always. I've always worked in government. I have a rather successful career in government, I think that's fair to say, but I've always had an obsession with entrepreneurship, but I didn't know which way my path would go. I've tried crafting, I've tried this thing, I've always had the next big idea, but they've never came to fruition, however you say that word. So when I saw this advertisement, I remember telling my husband and my mother, I'm like, I could do this bookkeeping thing. And you know what my mom said to me? God bless her heart. She goes, Cheryl, I just saw an article. The bookkeeping profession is going away. And my husband just laughed at me because he knows I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And he's like, this is such a waste of time. Why are you doing this? But I wanted to. And if you know me, I have a very strong personality. And if I want something, I go for it. And I go all in, right? I'm like, I'm just going to do it. It's not a big investment. And if it doesn't work out, who cares? But at least I can try. So I did. So I took the program in October. Let me just follow down here in my notes. I don't want to miss anything. And I binge watched all the videos, right away. And let's be clear, the program in October is not the same program that you have an option of purchasing today. You have a lot more bells and whistles today than we had back in 2018. But it's the same idea. It's not over curated. It's not over complicated. It was just a straightforward program. So I binge watched them all immediately. And then I just did the steps, right? So I had a website created because this website was stressing me out. Don't do what I did. I paid someone to create a website that offers way more bells and whistles that A, I never look at, and B, that doesn't matter, and C, you don't need to spend the time and energy like I did. Steve has a website building service now that you can use. Highly recommend that. Do not outsource like I did. I spent too much money on a website that I don't even care about. But anyhow, so I got the website. I did the Yelp ads for free. What else did I do? I advertised on Craigslist, just like the program said. So whatever Steve said to do in his program to market and brand yourself, I did. I got super excited when I got my logo. The logo man is amazing. Like, so responsive. He was wonderful. Like, maybe one of my favorite parts, because that was like the artsy part. So I did that. And then I also took the free training through QuickBooks. Nothing more, nothing less, literally just followed the steps in the program. And I signed up in October. By November, before Thanksgiving, I landed my first interview with a client where he wanted me to come to his office and have an interview. And just like so many of you messaged me, I was so nervous, beyond nervous. And I look back and I kind of laugh at it now. And if you haven't landed your first client, and if you haven't gone on that first interview, you'll feel the same way once you do. You go back and you kind of laugh, right? Like, I was paranoid. I remember messaging Steve, like so many of you message me and message him. What do I say? How do I handle this? Like, how do I do all this? And I had those like butterflies in your tummy, and it worked out fine, right? I was just straight up with them. I do not believe in lying, but I also believe in sharing the skills that you do have, right? And the experience that you do have and how it translates. And by the time I went on that interview, I did have the QuickBooks certificate, and I was able to share that and my experience. And needless to say, I landed the client, and he was a really good client, and we were going to start working together in January. So within my first month of the program, doing the steps, I landed a client. But I also took this business seriously, right? I worked at it every day. I studied, because I've never done this before. I didn't fully understand what it entailed, let's be honest. I didn't understand that there's different levels of bookkeeping. And yes, I know in the real world we don't call them levels, but in bookkeeping life it makes sense. So I knew right away I didn't want to do accounts payable. I didn't want to do accounts receivable. So I just went in, and all I could do was offer level 1 bookkeeping service. But I knew I'd be the best at it because I was the most eager to learn. And I was working it every day. I worked this system every day. I didn't treat, and to this day, I don't treat my side business as a side business. Does that make sense? Do you follow me there? Like, either it's a side hustle and more like a hobby, or it's a business. I've always treated this like a business. So whether I'm furthering my education, the client experience, marketing, branding, I'm always doing something. So like I said, let me get back on track over here. So I landed the client. We started working together in January. And then by February, this client had another business, and he asked me if I would do the books for this other business. And let's be fair, this other business, I wasn't ready to handle it. It was bigger than me. So I called Steve and I said, I really don't want to do this. Like, I'm nervous. And he calmed me down, as he does so many of you in here. He was a phenomenal, and to this day is a phenomenal mentor. And he said, Cheryl, why don't you want to do this? Like, you can do this. So you may not know the answer now, but you have the skills and the ability to gain the information to get the answer, right? He goes, this is a great client. Why are you going to say no to half of his business? And I thought about it, and I said, all right, let's do it. And I dove in. And I spent hours in those books. And I was so nervous I was going to mess something up, right? I was overthinking everything. Do you feel me? Like, is that a common feeling you have? Where you're just like I don't want to mess anything up. I just want it to be perfect. And was it perfect month 1? No. But did I learn how to go back in and correct a couple things? Sure. Did the client expect something unreasonable? No. Were we able to have a phenomenal working relationship? Yes. To this day, so well over a year later, we still work together. In fact, he just asked me to take on 2 more businesses in the midst of a crisis. He wants me to handle 2 more businesses because I've always maintained an open relationship and an open communication. I've been easy to work with. I'm reliable. I get it all done. So all those things that make you a phenomenal business owner and service provider. Sorry, my phone's blowing up with messages. It's distracting. Get out of here. Anyhow, so it just really worked out, and I really cultivated a phenomenal working relationship with this business owner. Relationships are so key to the success of your business, okay? So I just don't want to miss anything. That's why I'm looking. So that's my story with like my first set of clients and how that like really snowballed. Because once you get confident with a client, your business will snowball, right? Now I just received another client. We're in the midst of a crisis and I have people still calling me, and I don't advertise my services anymore. I don't. Now am I saying, do I have a full-time income? Well, that depends where you're at. And that's a common question I get. So let me go through these common questions I wrote down. All right, so I'm often asked, let's start. These are the common questions that end up in my DMs. Was it worth it? Like, do you receive enough compensation where your efforts are worth it? In the beginning, no. Compensation? Did my compensation equal my effort when I first opened this business? Absolutely not. But I want you to tell me, what business, when you first start, does your compensation equal your efforts? There's way too many things to build, right? But I'm not building a business just to pay my rent. I'm building a business because I want to work with business owners. I want that intrinsic value of helping others, that pride of building a business. So I'm building a sustainable long-term business. It's not a short-term, I need some cash. That's not what this is for me. So in the beginning, did my cash reward equal my effort? Absolutely not. And I would argue almost anybody who starts a business on day 1, if your effort equals your cash reward, I find that really hard to believe. But what I can tell you is the sense of pride, the learning, and all the effort I put in, did that equal the compensation? Was all that worth it? 100%. 100%. Now, is the compensation worth my time effort? Most days, most months. Some months, sure, some months are a little harder than others, right? Where I'm like, oh, this take me longer than it should. But it's also a learning curve, right? It's a new business for me. It's still new and it's over a year old. So that's a common question I get. Is compensation worth your effort? In the beginning, no. So if you're just looking to make a quick $100, $200, $300, $1,000, no, you put it in a lot of effort, right? You have skills to gain. And that also determines where you come from. Perhaps you come from a bookkeeping background and you don't have as much to learn. I had a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn, right? Another common question I get is, what makes me different? Like, why was this program successful for me and for others maybe it's not? I treat my business, like I say, like a business. I work at it every single day. This isn't a hobby. It's not a, do I want to show up? Even on the days I don't want to show up, I do show up, right? Think about how many of you have messaged me and I answer your questions, even when I have 5,000 things going on. Because regardless, I show up all the time, right? I'm not just looking for that quick fix. I love having this business, right? The amount of intrinsic value and pride I have in owning my own business and being that entrepreneur and being able to bring in extra money to my family is amazing. Like, I have no choice but to continue and to grow. And I really think because I have that attitude, this business is successful. So that's another question. You can do exactly what I do if you follow the program and you put in the effort, right? You can have a successful bookkeeping business, even in the midst of crises. I told you, I just got 3 new businesses within the last 2 weeks, all in the midst of a crisis. without advertising my services, right? This can be you too. I'm no different than you. You just have to put in the effort. So another common question I get is this enough where I could leave my day job? Is this a full-time salary? And that truly depends. So I'll just give you some real numbers. I'll be transparent with you. I have nothing to hide. I have a day job where I make over 6 figures. Does my bookkeeping business make over 6 figures and pay me benefits and retirement? No, it doesn't. Would I be willing to leave my day job that gives me that salary for my bookkeeping business? Not yet. Maybe if that's something I want down the road, perhaps. I am projecting, like I said, I'll give you real numbers. I have nothing to hide. This year I'll bring in $45,000 to $55,000 in my bookkeeping business. That's what I'm projecting. If I stay at my current rate and how things are going. So what does that mean for you? Maybe where you live, that is a full-time income, right? Maybe where you live, that's enough to leave your day job. I don't have those answers. And I also know that if this was my full job, would I be advertising more? For sure. Would I have maybe systems down better so I could do this more full-time? Absolutely. But this is my side business, and I'm good with that. So it's really what you want and the efforts you want to put into it. And I don't share my numbers to brag or really any reason rather than just honest transparency in what you can do. So this is where I'm at a year later. Did I start off like this in January? No. But over time it snowballs. And as you build relationships. Let's see. But I also want you to know, like, that money, I don't work 5 hours a week to earn this money. I put in the effort in my business. And I hope that's what you get out of this entire live thing, is none of this was just handed to me. I didn't just take a template and think that was going to turn into money. So I took some good ideas and I took the mentorship that this Bookkeeping Life program gives you, and then I tailored it, right? There's no quick answers. You have to be willing to do the work. And sometimes it's annoying work, right? I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent crafting emails to make sure they're perfect. And then the whole point is, imperfect action gets you further, right? Nothing's perfect right around your first time. All right, so lastly, I don't want this to go on forever. People ask, why do I talk so much about this program? So a lot of you have been in my DMs or I've met you in other social channels, and I always bring people back to this program. Well, this program is what worked for me. I haven't taken any other program. I have followed Steve's advice, his mentorship. I watched probably almost all the same videos you have watched, and this is what works for me. So I really believe in advocating something that will work for you. This Bookkeeping Life program has changed my life, not just monetarily, and I'll tell you why I do it in a minute, but the amount of sense of pride in the love I have for doing it and being an entrepreneur, it just excites me, right? That change in my personality is worth way more than the paycheck ever is. But I started this business really for 2 reasons. I wanted to keep my kids in private school, and I didn't want my husband to complain at the cost. And I love to go on vacations, like obnoxious vacations, as he calls them. So that's what this money goes towards. Last year I went on 4 vacations. Yes, would we have done some of them anyways? For sure. But I can tell you I wouldn't have had that Disney World vacation where we paid for every bell and whistle and every little extra if it wasn't for this business. I also went to Florida with my mother-in-law. What else did I do? And my husband and I went to Mexico. And then I went on like a business trip to Charleston, all with funds from my bookkeeping business. They really supported my efforts, right? It paid off. So I'm telling you all this because this program and this building a business is absolutely sustainable for you too. You can do what I did and well past it if you put in the effort. I'm going to urge you not always to look for like the easiest template, but then to fix it to meet your language and how you talk, right? So that's what I want to say. That's my bookkeeping life story. That's why this program's worked for me. That's why this has changed my life. I found my first client in less than a month. doing the systems that Steve has taught. Another thing I would say is there's a million different ways you can build a business. There really are. This is just one way to do it. But when you follow the 5 different ways, what you do is get confused. So I urge you to find a program that works for you where you jive with the message and then run with it. Don't look for 6 different answers to how to build a business, because all you're going to do is be confused. Find a method that works for you and then run with it. Do the work. It's not an easy answer to cash in your pocket. It takes work. It takes putting yourself out there, right? This is awkward for me to come on and talk to a bunch of people I have never met. But you put yourself out there and then the rewards show. Okay, so if you have any questions, definitely comment them down below. If you want to know more about my journey, if you want me to come on here, hey Mike, if you want me to come on here and do more lives, I can definitely do that once a week and talk more about marketing strategy, how a brand really pays into it. I could talk all about social media and if that's really worth your time and how long does it take to see rewards from that. Just comment down below and let me know what you want. Let me know some videos you would like Steve to do. He's really built a huge business all off these models he's teaching you. So follow them, right? If you jive with his message, run with it. If you want this to work for you and you want to build something, run with it, all right? And never be afraid to message me. I do try to get back to all of them. It usually takes me about 24 hours, but I do get back to you all. All right, have a great day, everyone, and I hope you're staying healthy and washing your hands. Bye.